RogersTV. Welcome inside the Iroquois Park Sports Center in Whitby, as tonight the Brooklin Lacrosse Club plays host to the Brampton Excelsiors. Good evening, everyone. Adam Dunphy alongside Andrew Osmond. And Andrew, tonight, a pair of teams looking for their second wins of the season.
Yeah, second win for both teams, whereas for Brampton, they actually had their first win of the season in their last game against the Peterborough Lakers, against one of the top teams in the MSL. Leading the way for them was Tanner Thompson with 4 goals. Unfortunately for them, they're going to have to get the win here tonight without him, as he is not in the lineup. Brooklyn, on the other hand, they lost their last game, and they're trying to get back in the win column, but they get the Kiernan brothers back in the lineup. Brady and Connor back here in Whitby to play for the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club this season.
So Brampton looking to make it a win streak, and the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club looking to not get into a losing streak, as we take a look at the standings in the MSL right now, and Six Nations at the top of things.
Yeah, Six Nations at the top of things. Their one loss on the year came to the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club earlier this season, which is also Brooklyn's only win on the year, whereas Brampton, you see them at the bottom there, played 4 games. One game, above Brooklyn so far this year, but they both also have 1 win. Peterborough Six Nations, as we've seen from year to year, sit atop the table, so not surprising there. Coburg about midway through the pack, but have played that extra game again over Brooklyn, so that's where we see them with a bit of a higher standing there.
Should mention that that Brampton win over Peterborough. I mean, Peterborough, they're 4-time defending Man Cup champions, and they were raising their banner from 2022 on that night. So Brampton coming in to play the spoiler last week. As we get a look at the stats of these two teams early on in this MSL season, as you just saw right now, it's a battle between the two bottom teams in the league.
Yeah, and both teams here, coming in pretty even. 1 win on the year, maybe 1 extra loss for Brampton, but they do have that extra game played so far this season. You see it there, goals per game about even. Goals against, yes, Brampton has a bit more goals against, but they have played that 1 extra game, so that might inflate that number here early on in the season. Penalties per game's about even, as we're here ready and underway in Whitby.
The ball is in play, and battle for the opening possession, and Brooklyn comes away with it. Jordy Jones-Smith plays it up ahead. Connor Kiernan charges the net. Cross for Connor Kiernan. Brady Kiernan, his shot, that's turned away by Lucas Nagy. And Brampton comes down the floor. Pass back up for Tyler Ferreira. Ferreira moves in, plays it back. Down low, battle ensuing for it. They were looking for Robert Hudson, but now it will be Brooklyn taking control. Parker Pfeiffer with it. Pfeiffer stops up, plays it back for Kiernan. Kiernan goes across the floor. Gets a return pass, back down low, back in for Kiernan. Shot didn't get what he wanted to on that and didn't find its way onto goal. Ball in the corner, 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and it will be a turnover. Brampton will take control.
Brampton early on here playing the strong defensive game, making Brooklyn work that entire shot clock without getting a shot on net, and here they go the other way, second offensive possession, see if they can open the scoring here early on.
Van Scheppen over for Istrat. Back to the top for Van Scheppen. Goddard with it now. Back over for Simons. Simons try to play it down low, that doesn't connect. And Brooklyn tries to break out the long pass, that's corralled by Nagy.
Yeah, Nagy getting the start here. He was in net for the win against the Peterborough Lakers last game, making 44 stops in that effort.
Ferreira plays it over for Keaton Thompson. Down low, looking for a return pass, doesn't get it. It goes to the far side to Henry Follows. Follows moves in the middle, plays it down low, but that doesn't connect. Looking for Jonathan Gagliardi there.
Both defenses now forcing a full shot clock expiration, and neither team getting some decent shots on net just yet. DeMood with 1 nice save so far already, though.
Up top for Connor Kiernan. Kiernan works his way in, drops it back. But it's going to be Brampton taking it. Down the floor with it is Bogatti. He plays it ahead. It's corralled by Istrat. In front. And a good stop there by Demood, and the best chance early on goes to Brampton.
The last time we saw Demood play was 2 weeks ago, and he had a great performance and a great effort, making a lot of big stops against the Six Nation Chiefs squad.
Quick shot there, turned aside by Lucas Nagy, so both goaltenders into this one. Brooklyn throws it around, shot there, stopped by Nagy. Play to the far side. Worked in the middle to Kiernan. Kiernan's shot. That's turned aside as well by Nagy. A couple of good looks there for Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Zach Kerrigan playing with the Kiernan brothers now. I believe we have a delayed penalty called.
It's going to go against Brooklyn. Extra man out for Brampton. Henry follows. He plays it to the top. Ball's worked around back to the top. Shot there. That's off. Or from Keaton Thompson. That's turned aside by Demood. Gets a fresh shot clock. Brampton continues to work it around. Quick shot there, stopped by Demood. Good look there by Van Scheppen. And Brampton will go to the first power play of the evening.
Brampton's going to maybe want to work on their power play just a little bit. They've only scored on average 1.3 power play goals per game. And they only actually put up 9 goals per game overall. So offensively, they'll look to get going here. But as I said, we'll have to do so without Tanner Thompson.
So Pilcher to the box for interference. Brampton to the power play. They work it around the outside. Van Scheppen holds, fires over for Istrat. Back to Van Scheppen, over to Istrat. Gets a return pass, back to Van Scheppen at the top. Van Scheppen shot, that goes wide, and the ball will ricochet into the stands. Istrat will start things off. He gives it to Van Scheppen. Whiteford for Van Scheppen, over to Istrat. Down low for Zavitz. Istrat back to Van Scheppen. Van Scheppen takes a look, that goes wide. And the ricochet will go all the way down the floor.
And that'll be a over and back call. So Brooklyn's going to be able to start in the offensive zone here on the kill with a fresh 30 on the clock.
70 seconds left to go on the Brooklyn penalty. They'll move it around. Brady Kiernan. Kiernan tried to find a lane. Ball knocked away from him. And Brampton will look to do something in the latter half of this opening power play. Tyler Ferreira. Back up for Istrat. Istrat for Van Scheppen. Van Scheppen looks for a lane, gives to Istrat. Istrat shot, that's off the post. Fresh shot clock for Brampton. 30 seconds left to go on their man advantage. Van Scheppen at the top of the umbrella. Down low, inside, shot there from Sunderland, was turned away. And a good opening PK for Brooklyn, as they've only got 6 seconds left to kill and they've got possession. Connor Kiernan. Kiernan plays it inside. Out of the box now is Pilcher. He'll join the attack. Ball worked inside. Shot stopped there by Nagy. It got through him, but he was able to corral it.
Yeah, just at his feet there, and he thought he almost shuffled that one into his own net. We've seen that happen a few times here on this concrete floor where the ball gets nice and sticky and it's easy to lose track of and grips the ground pretty quickly.
Scary position to be in as a goaltender when you just feel it under you and you just hope it's not rolling over the goal line.
And with all that equipment, it's hard to even see your feet at times.
Behind the back try there, nice look, but turned aside. That chance coming from Devin Pfeiffer. And Brampton goes back to the attack. Henry follows. Up top for Istrat. Istrat works to the inside. He planted over, and a shot there by James Whiteford is turned away by DeMood. Still looking for our first goal. We're over 7 minutes into this affair. Brampton back to the attack. Shot there, turned aside by DeMood. And that ball will go into the stands on the restart. Brampton. Henry follows, plays it inside. Quick shot there from Thompson, turned aside by DeMood. And he'll start the attack the other way. Devin Pfeiffer worked inside, or a long shot there by Kiernan is turned aside. Or rather, sorry, that went wide. 6 seconds to go on the shot clock. Now it's reset. Turnover. And Brooklyn will retake control. Kiernan. Kiernan spins. Goes across the floor. They work it around. Back to Kieran on the far side. Pilcher's shot. That's turned aside by Nagy. Good shoulder save there by the Brampton keeper. Nice moves to the inside there. Looking for a lane. That was Parker Pfeiffer.
And yet another shot clock reset for Brooklyn. The third one now on this offensive rush. These Brampton defenders rather tired.
Shot scores! Well, Brooklyn's got the opening goal.
And it's going to be
Carson Keeley.
Carson Keeley gets the call up today in his first MSL game, and he opens the scoring. And they got that ball for him. It's going to be a memorable one for Carson. The officials do it. They called for that ball. He'll keep that one, put it on the mantle.
You have to get a holder or something for it. They're not like game pucks when you score your first goal. Puck sits flat on your mantle. A lacrosse ball, that's going to roll around a bit.
You got to mount it somehow. So you're right. It won't sit on the mantle. It'll position itself.
Keeley opens the scoring, but Brampton looking to equalize. Good save there by DeMood as he stared down Medeiros on the breakaway. Travazos over for Pilcher. Pilcher plays it to the far side. Kiernan, quick shot, that deflects just wide. Rebound Jets, they score! A beautiful play off the deflection. And it's Liam Osborne who doubles the lead for Brooklyn.
And he picks up that rebound right in front of the net, and as he falls to the floor, you'll see it right here. Here's the initial shot coming in from the top of the circle. Then he cuts into the middle, finds that ball, and throws it past the goaltender Nagy for the second goal of the game for Brooklyn.
So we waited a while for the first goal of this game, and now Brooklyn's got two in a hurry. They lead 2-0.
And they score in a hurry as well. I believe last week it was a 4-0 Brooklyn lead in the first 7 minutes of the game. So they'll score in bunches.
Jordy Jones-Smith brings it up. Zach Kerrigan trying to make something happen. That won't work, and here comes Brooklyn Brown the other way, and Hudson on the breakaway, he scores! Robert Hudson gets his fourth of the season, and it's now a 2-1 Brooklyn advantage.
And just like that, a little errant pass in the offensive zone goes off the boards, and it's picked up by Brampton, who gets this breakaway down the floor. Only Damoud to beat, and he does, as Damoud was deep in his net there, just trying to stay big. But it was Robert Hudson getting the better of him there. 2-1 now is the score as we near the halfway mark of the first period.
Travassos and Kurtz on the draw. Ball goes to the far side, and it's picked up by Curtis Goddard. Plays it ahead, Reed Kurtz on the far side. He plays it back for Jonathan Gagliardi. Back for Van Scheppen. He'll play to the far side again. Working to the middle is Tyler Ferreira, and his shot is stopped by Damoud. Brooklyn back to the attack. Top to the top for Luke Pilcher. In down low, quick shot there, turned aside by Nagy. Another penalty coming up here, and it's going to go against Brampton again. Extra attacker onto the floor for Brooklyn. It's Brady Kiernan. And the cross crease pass doesn't work. And we will hear the whistle, and for the second time tonight, it'll be an Excelsior sitting in the box.
And it's going to be Connor McClellan going to the box there after interfering with the Brooklyn forward. So we'll get a look here at the Brooklyn power play. Damoud will head back to his net, so that's what we're waiting for, or they're going to go.
Brooklyn 0 for 1 tonight on the man advantage. Back to the top to Kiernan. Brooklyn throws it around. A couple of Kiernans out there, and Brady and Connor. Shot inside. Good stop there as Pilcher got the chance in tight. Brady Kiernan. He'll give it to Connor Kiernan. Kiernan, nice pass. Brady gets it back to Connor. Connor looked in for Pilcher. He couldn't get that shot on goal. And it will be Brampton ball the other way. Robert Hudson with it. Hudson. Content to kill some time here. 1:12 left to go on the man advantage. Hudson still with it. He'll play it over for Alex Simons. And a sharp angle shot there from Thompson goes wide, and then just at the shot clock expiration, shot gets off, but I guess it just wasn't at the shot clock expiration. It was just a beat over, and Brooklyn will retake control on the power play that's got 47 seconds left on it. That pass intended for Brady Kiernan doesn't connect, but he'll collect it off the bounce. Shot inside for Pilcher. Again, just setting up inside, but can't get that shot on goal. And 2-on-1 if they hurry in transition. The shot scores! A short-handed goal, and Brampton ties this thing up, courtesy of Josh Medeiros.
Josh Medeiros, no stranger to the back of that net, takes this ball short-handed, runs it down the floor, maybe uses Earstadt as a bit of a distraction there from Damoud and beats him clean. That's the second time now Damoud's been beat on a bit of a partial or a full breakaway. Just one-on-one with the shooter.
Off the draw, it's Brooklyn taking control. Jordy Jones-Smith. He'll head to the bench. Kiernan plays it down low for the other Kiernan. So the Kiernans throw it back and forth. Shot stopped by Nagy. Ball's up for grabs, and it will be Kiernan coming away with it. Brady Kiernan plays it down low, coming up to the top. That's Carson Keeley. And now it will be Brampton coming away with it. James Whiteford battling there with Ben McDonnell. He'll play it across for Carter Zavitz. Zavitz gets a return pass. Zavitz moves to the inside. And that shot's turned aside.
Off the post and all the way down the floor.
And we'll go all the way back to Nagy. He'll hand it off for Zavitz. Zavitz will bring this up the floor. He plays it to the far side. Istrat plays it in the middle. And an interception there. Brooklyn coming the other way. Knocked loose. Good play there by Tyler Ferreira. And Brampton heads in the offensive end. Henry follows. He gives it up for Istrat. Istrat will play it down low. Return pass inside. Shot. That doesn't get on goal. And Brooklyn will collect in the corner. And they will break out. 5:13 left to go here in the opening period. 2-2 between the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club and the Brampton Excelsiors. Both these clubs looking for win number 2 on this young MSL season. And Jeremy Cyril will collect the ball in his own end. He'll bring it up the floor. Cyril plays it in for Curtis Goddard. He'll play it back up to the top for Seth Van Scheppen. Quick shot there. Courtesy of Carter Zavitz. That goes wide.
And that'll go over and back. So Brooklyn will start with the ball in the offensive zone and a fresh 30 on the shot clock.
Pfeiffer gives it off. Pass intended for Brady Kiernan. He'll get control off the bounce. Kiernan still with it, plays it inside. Shot. And it doesn't get through. And Brampton attacks in transition. Josh Medeiros feeds, or he was looking for Istrat, but that doesn't connect. Evan Pfeiffer plays it over for Kiernan. To the top, shot there from Kerrigan is turned aside. Parker Pfeiffer, he'll work his way in. Plays it up top, shot there. Another good look from Devin Pfeiffer, and that's turned aside. And a long pass up. Brampton will go to work in the offensive zone. It's Curtis Goddard working inside. That shot turned away by Nick DeMood. And a 2-on-1 if they hurry for Brooklyn the other way. Shot stopped by Nagy. Things opening up a little bit here in the last 30, 45 seconds.
Yeah, Goodchild had Pilcher there on the 2-on-1, but elected to shoot, and goaltender Nagy made the save on that 2-on-1.
And Scheppen plays at the far side, worked into the middle by Follows. Van Scheppen collects down low, shot an over the top try, but that found the crossbar.
It's a great effort there from Keaton Thompson. Had Nick DeMood, but elected to try to make one too many moves, and DeMood was able to catch up to that and stand tall and get in the way.
Pfeiffer plays it down low, in tight. Good chance turned aside by Nagy. Brampton back to the attack. Alex Simons with it. He plays off for Istrat. Istrat works to the middle, looking back for Simons. That didn't connect. And DeMood will start play the other way. Josh Taguri. He'll hand it off for Pfeiffer. Parker Pfeiffer spins. Pfeiffer didn't find a lane. He'll play it back for Carson Keeley. He's got a goal in this one. And another penalty coming up here to Brampton. And they will get possession, so it will be the third power play of the night coming up for Brooklyn.
And we'll see who is heading off, but it was Gagliardi getting in the face of that Brooklyn offensive player there and maybe trying to even things up, look for a retaliatory penalty, but it's going to be Connor McClellan once again heading to the box for Brampton for the second power play opportunity for Brooklyn. Unsuccessful on the first go around and actually gave up a shorthanded goal to Robert Hudson on an errant pass that just went off the boards into the middle of the floor. And you'll see it right here. That was after the play, and then on the right side you see a bit of some rough stuff, but here we are on the power play for Brooklyn.
Pilcher for Kiernan, back for Pilcher, back for Kiernan. Onto the top of the box, shot doesn't get on goal, and this will deflect into the Brampton bench. Kerrigan down low for Keeley. Kiernan for Pilcher, back in for Kiernan, and he scores. So the power play's been doing a bit of everything for Brooklyn. Well, they surrendered a shorthanded goal on their last one, but they get a power play goal here, and they retake the lead. It's 3-2.
And nothing real fancy here, just a clean shot, gets that ball, and they are right down low. Brady Kiernan is a one-touch pass there with Luke Pilcher at the top of that circle, and he makes no mistake. No stranger to the back of the net either is Connor Kiernan. 4 goals in 5 regular season games last season, total of 13 points in those 5 games, but had a great playoff run as well against the Peterborough Lakers in round 1.
Gagliardi. He'll start things off for Brampton. Feeds over for Zavitz. Zavitz trying to find a lane. He'll play to the top. Shot scores! And just like that, Brampton answers. It's Curtis Goddard, and it's 3-3.
Well, they don't like being down for long, quick to respond. That's the second time now after a Brooklyn goal. In less than a minute, they're able to get one back. That time it was from Curtis Goddard, who came in hot from the top. You'll see him on the right side, call for the shot right there, have a lot of room to run into that one, and just fires it past Nick Damoud to tie this one up at 3.
Zach Young tried to make himself big there to take away as much of a shooting lane as he could, but Goddard found a lane and he found the back of the net. 45 seconds left to go here in this opening frame. 3-3. Brooklyn looking for a buzzer beater. Work to the inside, shot. That didn't get on goal. 15 seconds left to go on the shot clock, and now here comes Brampton the other way. 23 seconds left to go in the period.
And they're pulling the goaltender for the extra attacker here.
6 on 5, Simons gives it off for Keaton Thompson. Over for Istrat. Under 10 seconds left to go. Istrat down for Thompson. Back top to Istrat. Gets a return pass. Istrat shot stopped by Damoud. He's battling for the loose ball. He's going to throw it down the floor, but time will run out. And it is 3-3 between Brooklyn and Brampton after 1 period of play.
Close first period there from both teams. Not a lot of scoring that we're used to seeing maybe in the Iroquois Park Sports Center like we have in previous weeks, but nonetheless tied up at 3 here. Close game either way between Brampton and Brooklyn.
And we'll step aside for a quick break. You're watching MSL Lacrosse on RogersTV. Welcome back inside the Iroquois Sports Complex, MSL Lacrosse on RogersTV. And Andrew, it took a while for the offense to start in that opening period, but once it did, well, it came pretty quick and furious.
Yeah, we're not used to seeing a bit of a slow start to the game here in Whitby, Ontario with the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club. Like I said last week, within the first 7 minutes, they had that 4-0 lead. Took a while to get going. Only 6 goals total in that period, again, something we're not quite used to seeing, but you know, once the penalty started flying a little bit, and these two teams, one thing we haven't quite mentioned yet, Brampton back in the MSL, so these two teams haven't seen each other in a number of years, not to mention even just guys getting to know each other on either side of the floor. So, maybe there was a bit of that in the first period, not knowing exactly what you're up against. But then things settled down, and we got some normal lacrosse in there a little bit. Some penalties were happening, power play opportunities, shots on net, a couple great saves from Nick DeMood as well to keep his team in it. Just tied up at 3 after that first.
Take a look at the first period highlights, and as I mentioned, yes, it took a while for the offense to get going, but once it did, it was an exciting first period.
Yeah, well, the first 2 goals came from courtesy of the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club. They went up to that 2-0 lead, and here's that goal in front there on the rebound attempt from Liam Osborne as he picked up that loose puck and threw that one in, and then down the floor the other way, shorthanded goal. This one coming from Robert Hudson to get the first goal for Brampton, and then again a 2-on-1 here, partial break. This time Josh Medeiros keeps the ball himself and gets that one in for a 2-2 game at that point. And then here we're looking at Connor Goddard coming down the middle of the floor there with a lot of speed and power behind that shot to get that one in, and that's where we sit, 3 goals apiece after one.
Both these clubs looking for their second victories of the season. Good start for Brooklyn. They get out to that 2-0 lead, but Brampton able to come back and make it a 2-2 game. The 2-2 goal coming short-handed, and then the power play got to work, or in a positive sense for Brooklyn, they get a power play goal to go up 3-2, but then as you saw, it was a quick response from the Brampton Excelsiors to tie it. It is a 3-3 game here after 1 period of play. We'll step aside. Second period coming up. You're watching MSL Lacrosse on RogersTV. Three after 1 period of play here between the Brampton Excelsiors and the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club. And Andrew, as I said, took a while for the offense to come in that first period, and we only have 3 goals aside after 1 period of play. But there were a lot of chances both ways. Yeah, a lot of chances both ways, and it took, as you said, it took a while to get going. Settled in a little bit into the pace, maybe got a couple penalties to get used to the flow of a lacrosse game, where there are a few penalties as well. A couple over and backs, a couple missed shots and reset shot clocks. That was the biggest thing in the first 10 minutes of that period, Adam, was there was a lot of reset shot clocks on offensive rebounds for the offensive team, which meant the defense was out there a little longer, maybe a bit tired, but also because of that, the offense is out there longer. They're not going to go for those changes. They're going to keep the ball and try to score. So I think a little bit of fatigue played into that slow part of that first period, but then, once you rested the legs, penalties, stop the play a little bit instead of that back and forth, rest up, get the big guys on the floor to do what they do best and score some goals, get the shots. That's when the pace kind of picked up a little bit. One thing for Brooklyn I'll just point out as well is that, they have those crisp passes. The Kiernan brothers are no stranger to, having that offensive flair and those shots and those nice passes, but a couple of things, and one of them was on that first goal from Robert Hudson on the Brampton Excelsior side of things. It was just an errant pass in the offensive zone, which was like an unforced turnover for Brooklyn in the offensive zone. That's how Brampton got 2 of their 3 goals, were just offensive zone mistakes and miscues, and kind of just forgetting that you got to reach with that stick for the ball and catch it properly, and it goes, gets away from the offensive player, then picked up and gone the other way, and Brampton's able to tie it or score and then tie in this one. So Brooklyn cleans that up a little bit in the offensive zone. They got Kiernan's back, Zach Kerrigan as well out there, and don't forget Keeley getting his first goal in the MSL as well. It's looking good offensively for Brooklyn. They just got to tidy it up and tighten it a little bit. Yeah, Brooklyn had good offensive looks, and as you mentioned, Brampton, 2 of their 3 goals came sort of on quick rushes, but they did have good looks setting up in the zone. That just so far most of their success has come quickly in transition. So if you're the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club, I think you have to be somewhat happy of your defensive style and your defensive play in that first period. Would you agree? Yeah, no, I agree. The only thing is that, as you mentioned, Curtis Goddard there getting that goal, just kind of left alone at the top of the circle there and got the ball and had a lot of room and speed to bring that ball in. So Curtis Goddard's a guy you got to obviously watch. He leads the scoring so far, 1 goal, 1 assist in tonight's game. Game high so far in the first period of play. So got to watch him, tighten things up a little bit there. But otherwise, yeah, keeping things to the outside and shots from the outside. Nick DeMood's also been great in net, like we've seen him do this year and back to last season as well. Nick DeMood's standing tall, getting in front of those shots. So he's
good and solid back there, which is great for Brooklyn as well, knowing they can maybe cheat a little bit because they know they have that great defensive presence in Damoud in net to kind of stop anything if any mistakes do happen.
Well, it's been a bit of a goaltending battle so far, as we've seen, as the players are back on the floor, getting set for the second period. 3-3 after one between these two clubs. As you mentioned, Andrew, two clubs that have not seen each other in quite a while, as Brampton back in the MSL this season. But of course, such a long history of the Excelsiors and lacrosse in Brampton overall.
Yeah, and they're happy to be back in the league this year. Unfortunately, don't have the usual teams like the Oakville Rock in the MSL this season, but nonetheless, we got Brampton back, which is fantastic to see some more lacrosse being played and some high-level lacrosse as well here on RogersTV for everybody at home.
And we are underway in the second period, and battle ensuing still for the ball. It will roll loose, and it will be collected by Jordy Jones-Smith. Devin Pfeiffer will bring it in. Pfeiffer hands it off. Kiernan with a hill move in, looking inside. He was trying to connect there with Pfeiffer. And that quick shot turned away by Nagy.
Once again, we thank our major sponsors for the 2023 season.
Brampton coming the other way. Carter Zavitz. Zavitz goes behind the goal. He's bodied there. Good hard contact by Johnny Leclerc. And it will lead to a turnover. Kiernan. Up top for Pfeiffer. His shot stopped by Nagy. He'll squeeze and hang on. Alex Simons on the far board. Simons takes a shot. That's turned aside by Damoud. Ball bounces out, and the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club takes control. Pfeiffer, nice return pass, and he gets a return pass. Pfeiffer over for Pfeiffer getting that ball, that pass. And the shot there is stopped by Nagy.
Second solid stop for Nagy back-to-back here, giving Brampton a chance to go up the floor with ease and settle it offensively.
Trying to find a lane is Van Scheppen. He'll play it off. Bouncing ball near the crease. And it's Damoud turning it aside. Brooklyn back up the floor. Kiernan leads it across. Shot there from Travassos is stopped by Nagy. In transition, the shot from Gagliardi goes wide. And back and forth we go here in this second period. Kiernan works to the inside. Pfeiffer battling for it in the corner with McClellan. And it will be Brampton who takes control of the ball. Robert Hudson gives it off for Tyler Ferreira. Henry follows, cuts to the middle, follows. Looking down low, that came off the boards. He was looking for Zavitz. It's bouncing around, and Brooklyn will get control. And Brooklyn comes the other way with it. Kiernan. Still with it, plays it to the far side. Cutting in on goal, shot stopped by Nagy. Good look there from Carson Keeley. And Scheppen works his way to the middle, plays to the far side. James Whiteford hands it off for Curtis Goddard. Goddard to the top, his shot hit a body. and deflects to the boards, and that ball is into the netting and out of play, and we have a penalty coming up here, and it's a cross-check.
And we'll see who's going to serve it. Looks as though Istrat, or no, it's going to go against Adam Peroni and the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club, so giving Brampton their second power play opportunity. And they're just sorting things out there with the clock and the timekeeper. We've had a couple issues this season with the clock, so just making sure everything's all right.
I also don't think there was a ball out there.
That's important.
Brampton works it around. Van Scheppen at the top. Van Scheppen loading up. He'll hand off. Shot there. Turned aside by DeMood. Is good look there by Istrat. And here come Brooklyn shorthanded. Pilcher. Ball off the boards. Collected by Devin Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer plays it over for Pilcher. Pilcher works his way to the middle. Pilcher still with it. Shot that goes wide. And Brampton on the counterattack.
They will set it up here. Brampton will in the offensive zone with the fresh 30. A minute 11 left in their power play.
Van Scheppen. Whiteford. Van Scheppen. Van Scheppen will take a shot. That's turned aside by DeMood, and Brooklyn will come away at the rebound. 55 seconds left to go on the Brampton power play. And that ball ended up in the penalty box, so heads up to everyone over there.
I think everybody's all right, but there were two balls on the floor there for a second, so after having 0, now there's 2.
It averages out. Whiteford, Van Scheppen. Van Scheppen loads up. That shot didn't get through. 15 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Be collected by Istrat. Istrat hands it off. It's back for Whiteford. He plays a Van Scheppen return pass. Whiteford shot. That goes wide, and that will be a shot clock violation. Brooklyn will take control. 7 seconds left to go on their penalty. And Peroni is out of the box. Kiernan. Up for Pfeiffer. Back for Kiernan. Kiernan turns. Turn pass looking for Pfeiffer down low. He can't get control of that. And here comes Brampton. Bringing up the floor is Jonathan Gagliardi. Flipped over to Keaton Thompson. Up high for Henry Follows. Follows plays to the far side. Work back down low. That's Thompson in there with the bronze helmet. Whiteford flips it into the middle. Shot, scores! Nice pass by Thompson. And it's finished off by Tyler Ferreira. And Brampton has their first lead of the game.
They maybe didn't get it on the power play, but they at least worked that momentum back up the floor here. And no surprise, James Whiteford with the nifty pass. As he sauces that one in a little bit off the backhand. Low-angled pass, but nonetheless gets to Tyler Ferreira. And they get their first lead of the game, as you mentioned, Adam.
So much like the first period, Andrew, it took a while to see our first goal. But in that first period, that did open the floodgates. So we will see if that trend continues here in the second. Brampton back to the attack. Seth Van Scheppen with it. Van Scheppen. Henry follows. Back for Van Scheppen. Van Scheppen plays it inside. Shot, scores! And it's another quick strike. And this one is Carter Zavitz's.
Well, that's the 5th goal now for Brampton, second in a short period of time, but that's also the 5th goal scorer as well for Brampton. So that's good for them, seeing the depth come in here this time. Carter Zavitz getting on the board, moving the ball around, then cuts towards the net, beats that defender, and just gets it past. Let's see how he gets it in. Yeah, just far side around Damoud, beats Damoud to that far post and dives across that crease, keeps his foot out, and gets Brampton a 2-goal lead now. And the official is talking with Goodchild on the left side of your screen there.
So Brooklyn got out to a 2-0 lead in this one, but Brampton erased it. Now Brooklyn will look to erase a Brampton 2-goal lead. And Brampton will take control off the draw. Robert Hudson. Alex Simons plays it over for Thompson. Onto the far or the near side, Whiteford. Back up top for Ferreira. That shot didn't find its way on goal.
We'll see how Brooklyn responds now. Giving up 2 quick goals. They've only ever had the leader tied. Now they're down 2 for the first time.
Kiernan feeds it over. Work to the inside. It's a turnover. And Brampton will try for the quick strike coming down the floor. It's Josh Medeiros. They'll feed it back up top for Gagliardi.
They're going to set up here and get the offensive guys on the floor now. Ooh, be careful of that line.
Henry follows. Worked over for Istrat. Behind the goal, back out in front. That takes a deflection. And it's going to be Brampton ball.
And a good stick there by Zach Young to break up that pass coming out in the slot.
Van Scheppen works it in. Follows back for Zavitz. That shot didn't get through, but it's back for Follows. Follows works his way in. And it will be Brampton maintaining possession.
Yeah, yet again here. And they reset the shot clock once again, so some tired defenders for Brooklyn. Brampton trying to take advantage.
Istrat down low. He was looking for Simons. That doesn't connect. And the long bomb pass from Damoud is out of the reach of Luke Pilcher. And Brampton will get control again in short order. Whiteford plays it over for Thompson. Thompson back for Whiteford. Down low for Ferreira. Ferreira works his way to the middle. Shots wide. Thompson on the far side. Quick shot, low shot. And he did get that one on goal. Fresh shot clock for Brampton.
Nick Damoud standing on his head here, keeping Brooklyn in it.
Whiteford. Over for and that will remain Brampton ball.
And because it deflected out of play from a Brooklyn defender, the shot clock gets reset, which is convenient for Brampton as there was only 3 seconds left on the shot clock.
Istrat for Whiteford. Whiteford works his way inside. Whiteford can't get that shot away. Rather, he did. Yes, it is a fresh shot clock. Brampton just pouring it on in the offensive zone right now.
And in the crease there for Brampton, so a break for Brooklyn. Finally getting this ball, and will try to do something offensively, but they got to break it up the floor first and get out of their own end.
McDonnell will do that for Brooklyn. He'll flip it off for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer feeds it down low. Inside, the nifty behind the back chance there from Zach Kerrigan goes wide, but Brooklyn maintains control. In tight, another chance by Kerrigan. That's turned aside by Nagy.
Kerrigan's not used to that. He leads the team in goals with 7. Both of those don't go in.
Chance by Liam Osborne, but he lost the ball.
He stepped in the crease there, so turned over. And it's a tough break there for Brooklyn as they were humming there in the offensive zone for a little bit.
Looking for their first goal of this second period. 2 goals in the frame for Brampton. Looking for more there. That shot doesn't make its way through. Whiteford plays it back out for Ferreira. Ferreira across the floor. Gets a return pass. Or excuse me, that's Whiteford with it. Works his way to the top. Whiteford still with it. Throws a shot on goal, and I think that may have caught DeMood partially by surprise, but he did stop it. And Brooklyn gets control. And delayed penalty coming up here to Brampton. DeMood to the bench, extra attacker on for Brooklyn.
Brady Kiernan trying to direct some traffic and call a play.
Kiernan plays it up top. Shot. I think Nagy got a piece of that, and now Brooklyn will get possession, and it will be another Brooklyn power play upcoming.
And we'll see who is heading to the box. The door is open. It's going to be Henry Follows to serve 2 minutes or less for Brampton, but it's going to be the third power play opportunity for Brooklyn. They were successful on their last attempt, and they'll need to try to do so here as they, as you mentioned, Adam, 0 goals in this second period so far. Here's their chance to break that and get back within 1.
Kiernan down low, return pass for Kiernan. His shot, that is stopped by Nagy. Up top for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer.
Looks like Connor Kiernan is, or Brady Kiernan's coming off without a helmet.
His helmet came off, he goes to the bench. Shot stopped there by Nagy. Good look by Parker Pfeiffer. And here comes Brampton, short-handed. Robert Hudson eating up some time. He'll flip it back for Gotti. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Excuse me. That shot goes wide, so it's going to be Brooklyn taking over. If the shot clock wound down, 58 seconds left to go on their man advantage.
And the officials are going to let Brooklyn advance the ball as just after the shot clock expired, Brampton tried to push the ball down the floor to waste some time.
Brooklyn works it around up to Kieran at the top. Nice flip pass. Shot, that goes wide. Worked inside. Another shot, that also goes wide and into the stands, heads up.
And Brooklyn's claiming that was deflected and went out of bounds instead of a missed shot that deflected and went up and out of bounds. So it's going to go Brampton's way, and a couple players behind the play getting into a bit of a scrum, and they let it go.
15 seconds left to go on the Brooklyn power play, and 12 seconds left to go on the shot clock for Brampton. Trying to get a reset there, won't do it. Brooklyn gets the ball back, but their power play is over.
Well, just like Brampton last period, their penalty expired and were able to get one anyway. See if Brooklyn can replicate that.
Shot, that goes wide. Loose ball, battle for it ensues, and it's Brooklyn coming away with it. Pass intended for Osborne. He does get control. Osborne tries the wraparound, and that's stopped by Nagy. And then Osborne takes a check there from Robert Hudson. Jonathan Gagliardi will bring it up for Brampton. Gagliardi throws it back. That's intercepted. And a breakaway chance potentially here for Brooklyn. No, the ball went too far for Johnny Leclerc, but he gets control. They play it up top, but no chance comes of it. And here comes Brampton the other way. In transition, shot turned aside by DeMood. And Ben McDonnell, will get control. And Brooklyn goes back to the attack. Flipped ahead for Luke Pilcher. To the boards for Pfeiffer. That shot goes wide and it comes all the way back.
So it's an over and back there, so Brampton get the opportunity to start with the ball in the corner. They have that 2-goal lead. Haven't seen a lot in quite a while. Only 2 goals this period, both Brampton.
Tyler Ferreira's got one of those goals. He feeds to the far boards. In tight, they score! Henry follows, makes it a 3-goal advantage for Brampton.
Well, that's a way to make up for taking that penalty. Gets the 6th goal for Brampton, and Henry follows now also the 6th goal scorer. You see him cut towards the center of the floor, gets that ball, beats his man Peroni, and then beats DeMood for his 4th goal of the season. Henry follows. Has the Brampton Excelsiors doubling up the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club right here with about 4 minutes to go in the second.
3 goals in this period, all 3 for the Brampton Excelsiors. Brooklyn looking to break this second period goose egg now as Connor Kiernan has it. Played up top for Devin Pfeiffer, back in for Kiernan. Kiernan finds a lane in the middle, play to the far side. Over for Liam Osborne. Worked up into the slot, but no shot comes away from that look. But Brooklyn back with it. Shot there. That's just wide from Liam Osborne.
He had it there for a second, had a little hole on the near side on Lucas Nagy. Just missed the net.
Istrat plays it over for Follows. Istrat over for Henry Follows again. Inside Van Scheppen a chance, and that's turned aside by DeMood. Brooklyn trying for the quick strike. In transition, shot there, turned aside by Nagy.
And a great opportunity from Brady Kiernan, hot off the bench, no defender on him. Lots of speed there, cutting to the slot, and making the save was Lucas Nagy.
Thomas McDonald heads off the floor. The 7 on his jersey falling off, so he might need some stitches or at the very least some tape. Is Brampton a close chance in tight? It got behind DeMood, but didn't cross the line. Brooklyn back to the attack. Kiernan works it down low. He was looking for Pilcher. Pilcher comes away with the ball now off the boards. Up top for
couple big stops there from Nagy and a couple possessions, keeping Brampton at this 6-3 lead. Brooklyn starting to pick up the pace a little bit offensively.
Looking for something in this second period. Henry Follows. He was looking for Cyril, but that didn't connect. But picking it up is Istrat. 3 seconds left to go on the shot clock. And it will be Brooklyn ball with the shot clock winding down.
And let's look for them to get something here. Couple of great offensive chances. They get a fresh 30 down at the far end of the floor here with their big guys on it.
Liam Osborne up for Kiernan. That shot goes wide. Osborne again with it. Osborne flips it back for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer hands it off, cuts to the inside. Kiernan up top, shot there. That goes high over the net. Last minute of play here in the second period. Brampton back to the attack. Ferreira. He plays it down low. Over for Thompson. Thompson back over for Whiteford. Whiteford to Ferreira. Chance in tight. That's turned aside. Good look there by Zavitz. Thompson back for it. 30 seconds left to go in this second period. All Brampton here in this second period. They've got all 3 goals and they lead 6-3.
And they're going to call a timeout here and set something up. We'll see if Nagy, he's coming to the bench probably just for some water. We'll see if he stays there. But with 24, basically 25 seconds left, I'm not sure he will. He might stay on the end of the bench and run in if needed. Well, we will see, and Brooklyn just going to discuss things and say what to keep in mind and what the plan is if you get the ball. Likely they will call their timeout, whereas Brampton is not discussing any sort of set play, more just taking the time to breathe here and talking to the official is head coach Dan Teat. And a couple reminders now on Brooklyn coming from Ryan Preston. Assistant coach, as we mentioned, Jason Crosby not behind the bench today for Brooklyn, serving a suspension. So leaving it into the hands of Gavin Prout and Ryan Preston is Brooklyn. And it looks like Nagy will stay on the bench here for that 6th attacker.
Should mention, though, that the Crosby suspension does not stem from anything in the MSL. No. It's was at a lower division. But
U17.
But because it's an Ontario Lacrosse Association suspension, you have to serve the games you were suspended for in that league until and once you do, you can return to
all
action.
lacrosse.
All lacrosse in Ontario. 16 seconds left to go. Brampton just holding right now. Now they'll go to the attack. 5 seconds left. Worked inside. Quick shot stopped by Damoud. And the rebound will not get on goal. But Brampton will go into the dressing room happy as they have a 6-3 lead after 2 periods of play.
And on the other side of the floor, Brooklyn going to the locker room still at 3. That's where they were after the first period. Not able to get a single goal here in the second, despite having a power play opportunity and a plethora of shots.
6-3 Excelsiors after 2. You're watching MSL Lacrosse on RogersTV. Brampton after 2 periods of play here in Whitby. And Andrew, the offense disappearing for Brooklyn in that second period.
Yeah, and that's not for a lack of trying. They had a power play opportunity. They had a plethora of shots on net, but I'm looking at guys like Brady Kiernan. Yes, it's his first game back in the MSL with the Brooklin Lacrosse Club this season, but he's had a number of opportunities where he's getting the shots through but just missing the net. Not taking, early shots or anything. Like they're working the ball around, getting the looks they want, just missing the net altogether, whether it's past the far near post or even over the net. They're not hitting the goaltender as much as they probably should or would like to. Yes, they've gotten a couple offensive rebounds to keep that shot clock fresh and have another opportunity on net, but when you miss the net, you're not even giving yourself a chance for a nice rebound like we see from the Brampton Excelsiors side of things, where they pick up that loose ball in the slot and can get a goal. We haven't seen that from Brooklyn so far, so they're going to have to get those shots on net, not just clear the lane and get the shots through, but at least on net.
Take a look at the second period highlights. They're highlights that I'm sure the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club doesn't want to see, but if you're Brampton, looking to make it 2 in a row here tonight, and, big second period for them.
Yeah, no, big second period. They started tied, and they got 3 goals, and here's that first one coming from Tyler Ferreira right in front. The nice pass there from Whiteford. No reason why, or there's the reason why, I should say, and here's another play from Whiteford. He's going to sauce that one in right there into the slot. as we have another look at it, but he leads the team in goals, assists, and points. And then another one here, this one coming from Henry Follows, Carter Zavitz, taking that pass right there and then spinning away from trouble down low and then diving and getting that shot in and past Nick DeMood, who was claiming a crease violation. And then here, getting that shot, beating his man Peroni, is Henry Follows, who gets his 4th goal of the season. You'll see it one more time right here, beats Peroni to the ball and has that lane and goes right around Nick DeMood for the 3rd goal. So Brampton getting 3 goals, the same number they got in the first period. But the fact that Brooklyn's got none this period, they've doubled them up, and now we sit at 6-3.
If you're the Brampton Excelsiors, you're coming into this game feeling pretty good. You pick up your first win of the season last week, and who do you pick up that first win of the season against? Oh yeah, the defending Man Cup champions, the team that's won 4 straight Man Cups in the Peterborough Lakers, and you pick up that win on the night that they raised their 2022 Man Cup championship banner. So getting that win's got to feel good, and they seem to be carrying that momentum over to this game tonight.
Yeah, they must be doing that, or, you know, the other side of it too is to think of the positive for Brampton. They're doing it without Tanner Thompson, who had 4 goals in that game against Peterborough, and here they are, 6 goals, the 6-3 lead, so carrying that momentum against Peterborough in Peterborough on the road, as you mentioned, at their banner raising ceremony game, but then also here now tonight against Brooklyn again on this side, away from where they play in Brampton on the road, once again standing on top here, but without Tanner Thompson. That's got to feel even better that you're here on top after 2 periods of play.
Lots of momentum and things that Brampton can draw on, not just from that second period, but from the last week or so, when it's been a pretty good run in Peterborough. You got the Lakers, who have won 4 straight Man Cup championships. Of course, the Peterborough Petes just won the OHL championship. So something in the water right now in the Lift Lock City. And but of course they didn't get that home opener win. Brampton looking to make it 2 in a row here tonight. And of course, the Brooklin Lacrosse Club also looking for their 2nd win of the season. However, Brooklyn played the least amount of games so far in the MSL. This is just their 4th game of the season tonight. So you could argue that they haven't perhaps had as long a chance to gel yet. Or you could also say, well, they're fresher than the other team, but what are you going to look for from them in the 3rd period?
Well, I think you kind of nailed it there. There's a bit of that inconsistency in this Brooklyn team right now. There's a lot of new guys coming up. Keeley gets his 1st goal in his first MSL game, which is great to see, but you got the Kieran brothers, Brady and Connor, back in the lineup. Last week, you had Kyle Waters return to this team. You know, a nice face, a nice big presence that right now tonight is kind of lacking from the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club. That's what Kyle Waters brings. He's not in the lineup tonight. Last week, you had Jordy Jones-Smith, who was away doing his law exam, so he wasn't able to make last week's game. He's in the lineup tonight, so a lot of juggling going on for the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club in the first few weeks here in the MSL season. So maybe next week, and as the games come and the games progress, these guys get to know each other. A lot of guys coming up from the Merchants playing for Brooklyn right now and filling some roles. Zach Kerrigan, one of these young guys that has that superstar potential in the first couple games. Been a bit quiet here so far, so look for him to maybe get going. He's had his chances, but hasn't been able to get one past the goaltender Nagy just yet. So I think it's a mix of, you know, instability and maybe just they're not so familiar with each other, are they, just yet? They might be in a little while, but not just yet. So give it time for Brooklyn. They're still figuring things out.
6-3 Brampton after 2 periods of play. The 3rd period coming up. You're watching MSL Lacrosse on RogersTV. Brampton after 2 periods of play. The home side, Brooklin Lacrosse Club, looking for the 3rd period comeback here. Both of these clubs looking for their 2nd wins of the season. It was Brooklyn who got out to a 2-0 lead in the 1st period. Brampton came back to tie it 2-2. Brooklyn went up 3-2. Brampton tied it, and the first ended 3-3. That was all Brampton in that 2nd period. They get the only 3 goals of that frame, and that is how we are at this 6-3 scoreline as we get set for the opening face-off in period 3.
Yeah, their last game, the victory against Peterborough, Brampton entered the third period with a 10-6 lead. And they ended up winning the game only by 1 goal, and they gave up 3 goals in the last 3 minutes. So almost let Peterborough get back and tie this one. So they got to be a bit stronger here to try to close this one out against Brooklyn this time around.
Good early look there by McClellan, but he puts that shot wide, and that's over and back, and Brooklyn will get control. Back pass for Kiernan. He corrals it.
And you talk about the lack of offense for Brooklyn that period, only 9 shots on goal to 15 for Brampton.
They had some looks that they didn't end up getting a shot on goal out of, but we're going to get an early penalty here. Holding call coming up. And it's going to be Robert Hudson going to the box.
Well, he had to open the scoring for Brampton with that shorthanded goal, and unless I'm crazy, you can't score a shorthanded goal while you were in the box. So he's going to get called for that hold there on Liam Osborne, who kind of got through into the crease. So power play here early on in the third for Brooklyn. Good chance for them to get back in it.
Or at least grab some momentum here. So they'll throw it around Kiernan. At the top, makes a move inside. Shot turned aside by Nagy. Pfeiffer for the restart. Ball worked around. Up top, Kiernan over for his brother. Up top for Brady Kiernan. His shot stopped by Nagy, and the rebound, they score! And it's batted in by Brady Kiernan. It's a power play goal. The Brooklyn Lacrosse Club back within 2.
And the great thing on that power play for their second power play goal of the game is every shot was on net that time. You see it there from Brady Kiernan. From well out right there, there's that shot, and then sweeping to the floor goes Connor to make it a 6-4 game now.
Robert Hudson brings it up the floor. He's triple team. Ball shakes loose from him. And Brooklyn takes control. Travazos brings it up to the center line and into the attacking half. He'll give it off for Osborne. Liam Osborne plays back for Connor Kiernan. Kiernan makes a move on the inside, flips it in front. Good look in front by Kerrigan, but that's turned aside by Nagy. And here comes Brampton in transition. Shot in tight, turned aside by Nick DeMood.
And on that last play, Zach Kerrigan all alone, can't buy a goal. Not sure how he got so wide open there, but it was Brady Kiernan with a great pass to find him on the near side, and Kerrigan just couldn't find the back of the net for some reason.
Shot there goes wide from Brady Kiernan. Pilcher plays it up high for Parker Pfeiffer. Work down low. They were looking for Brady Kiernan, but he's unable to get control. And now it's Brampton coming back into the attacking half.
Yeah, it's a great play by Reed Kurtz to get that ball away from Brady Kiernan.
Nice run by Connor McClellan to set this chance up, and the shot there is turned aside by DeMood.
DeMood doing a great job just staying in front of that ball and keeping it in front of him and controlled, giving his team all the chances here now to go up the floor controlled.
Pfeiffer, he moves in, shot stopped by Nagy. Fresh shot clock for Brooklyn. Ball bounces in front, and it's a crease violation, and it's Brampton taking control. Thompson with it. He will hand it off for Van Scheppen. This is Istrat. Istrat for Thompson. Over for Van Scheppen. Van Scheppen in the middle. Ball's knocked loose, and it's over and back. So Brooklyn will take control here. Luke Pilcher hands it back for Connor Kiernan. Pilcher back for Kiernan. Kiernan plays at the far side. The near boards. Work inside and a nice look on the inside, but can't get the shot on goal. And it will be Brampton taking control.
Yeah, Brooklyn getting those shots on net now. They got that one goal, cutting the lead to 2. Doing a good job here offensively and defensively. Great so far here in the opening 5 minutes.
Goddard works in, shot turned aside by Demude. Zavitz. Zavitz cuts inside. Zavitz couldn't get the shot away.
He was about to step in the crease, so he had to drop the ball because he didn't want to give the turnover.
Here comes a hard charge from Adam Perrone. Back for Kiernan. Kiernan's shot. That did get through, and Nagy makes the save, corrals the ball, starts the breakout. Tyler Ferreira spins, plays it back for Van Scheppen. Van Scheppen back over for Ferreira. Ferreira works his way to the middle, gives it off for Istrat. Istrat works it down low, doesn't connect.
Van Scheppen just missed that pass there, and if not, he would have had a decent shot on net. He's going to stay down the floor, actually.
Well, that was a quick possession for Brooklyn. Brampton's got it back. Follows. Works to the side. And play whistled down.
I think we're getting a penalty here. And I think it's going against Brampton. Or it's going to be offsetting, actually. It looks like it's going to be Van Scheppen and Luke Pilcher going off for offsetting minors here. Official didn't like the spirited battle on the floor and said, you guys got to calm down, sit for 2 minutes, so we'll play on.
Istrat down low for Ferreira, over in tight, and a good chance there by Zavitz, turned aside by Demude. Ball loose in the corner, still loose, it's picked up and shot on goal there from Follow, stopped by Demude.
That rebound control was clutch there from Demude, as Zavitz was right there and could have picked up the loose ball. Demude was sprawled on his stomach, well out of position.
Pfeiffer to the far side with it. Pfeiffer into the middle. Pass is knocked down. And coming the other way is Connor McClelland. McClelland gives it off for Ferreira. Ferreira giving orders as Whiteford comes on. Ferreira gives off for Zavitz. It's work down. This is Thompson. Puck or ball work to the far side. Battle ensues. Penalty coming up here to Brooklyn. As
I think they're going to call it a hold.
I think it was Pfeiffer who took down his man, and Pfeiffer to the box. So it will be a power play upcoming for Brampton.
So looks like Brooklyn's going to have to kill off 2 minutes here of a penalty, which has got to be frustrating for Gavin Proud and Ryan Preston, as they've been holding Brampton in check here in the third period, and they got the 1 goal on the power play. And their offense has been looking better. Defense has been solid.
Tyler Ferreira will start things off on the power play for Brampton. It is in fact a holding call. Ferreira for Istrat, back for Ferreira, back for Istrat. Work down low. Nice ball movement here by Brampton. But that is out of the reach of Ferreira. That's going to be over and back.
Yeah, they're calling over and back. The Brampton bench, however, are claiming a deflection. Officials not buying into that. So Brooklyn's going to look to waste some clock here, but they do have Brady and Connor Kiernan on the floor for a potential shorthanded opportunity.
Now Brampton's got a shorthanded marker tonight, and Brooklyn looking for one. That one hit the crossbar. Good look inside by Kiernan. Connor Kiernan.
And they got a refresh shot clock here.
And we're looking for Brady Kiernan on the inside. That doesn't connect. And Brampton back down the floor. Still just over or under a minute left to go on the power play. And that's a crease violation.
So Brooklyn has more time with the ball here on Brampton's power play, which is not an issue if you're Brooklyn, but Brampton got to be a little concerned here. It still is only a 2-goal game.
And Brooklyn needs some goals. Down 6-4. Kiernan. It's worked again right in tight, and
they got the ball once again at a fresh shot clock. That will likely expire the penalty, and Damoud is creeping out of his net.
Brady Kiernan. Down low for Pilcher. Or excuse me, that was Kerrigan. Keeley, or rather Pfeiffer. Ball takes a big deflection off the end boards, and it's going to end up with Brampton. Whiteford. Over for Gagliardi. Gagliardi plays it back over for Ferreira. Ferreira for Whiteford. Whiteford looking back for Ferreira, but Ferreira couldn't handle that pass. And Brooklyn will take control in their own end. 10:40 left to go here in the third period. Brampton in front 6-4. Jones Smith plays it back for Kiernan. Kiernan surveys the situation. Nice spin move. Kiernan works inside. Shot stopped by Nagy. And then Kiernan goes into the Brampton keeper. But everyone okay, and Brampton back quickly in transition. It's Curtis Goddard. Goddard gets loose. Plays it back for Follows. Back in for Goddard. Goddard cuts inside, knocked down. Thompson battling for the ball on the end boards, but it will be Brooklyn coming away with it.
And a great play there by Cody Hamley to knock his man to the floor, take away his stick, and pick up the loose ball.
Zach Young under pressure loses the ball, knocked forward, and it's collected by Liam Osborne. And that ball comes loose, and it'll be played off by Nagy. Andrew Orgotti. He plays it in. James Whiteford plays it up top for Follows. Back in for Whiteford. Over for Istrat. Istrat, Whiteford. Back for Istrat. Istrat works to the middle. Shot stopped by Damoud. Just as the shot clock expires, and Brooklyn back down the other way with it. Working his way in, it's Osborne. Osborne can't get the shot away. Thompson over for Goddard. Goddard gives it off to Ferreira. Shot there, that is turned aside by Damoud. And Brooklyn attacks in transition. Shot wide off the end boards in tight. A glorious opportunity for Brady Kiernan. When it goes wide, then he gets knocked into the net.
Yeah, Thomas McDonald's going to go to the box for 2 minutes, and maybe there's going to be more, actually. Brampton, for the last minute, has not been happy with some non-calls on the floor. So I think they're actually going to go down 2 men here. One for that excessive hit after the play, and then possibly an unsportsmanlike. You'll see it right here as Kiernan gets hit into the net after the shot by Thomas McDonald. And then I believe it was Andrew Borgatti with a few choice words for the official and got put in the box as well. So we're going to have a 2-minute advantage here, it looks like. Indeed, for Brooklyn. They're down 2, 8:55 to go. If there's a chance, this is it.
Glorious opportunity here for the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club. Their only goal in this third period came on the man advantage. Brooklyn led 2-0 to open things up in this game, but Brampton battled back to make it 2-2. Then Brooklyn took a 3-2 lead. But then it was all Brampton. They made it 3-3 and scored the only goals in the second period for a 6-3 lead. So far, Brooklyn, the only goal in this third period. It was a power play marker, and now they have a 5-on-3 advantage for 2 minutes.
And they're going to have Connor and Brady Kiernan, Jody Jones-Smith, Zach Kerrigan, and Parker Pfeiffer on the floor offensively. And I think they're just shorting out the clock here and confirming that they will start the play. And here we go.
Jones-Smith will start things off. He plays it in for Brady Kiernan. In tight, shot stopped by Nagy, but Brooklyn maintains control. Brady Kiernan gets a return pass. Nice behind the back feed. Can't do anything with it though. Another nice behind the back feed, and it's into the stick. Nice 5-hole save there by Nagy, as that was a good look in tight from Carson Keeley.
Very positional save there from Nagy.
Now Brampton will just be content to kill some time. 13 seconds on the shot clock to go. It's 3-on-1. Carter Zavitz does kill some time, but now Brooklyn will take control.
The Brampton bench is appreciative of that.
Parker Pfeiffer feeds down low, over looking for Pilcher. Doesn't take the shot, gets the return pass. Pilcher up top for Kiernan. Kiernan feeds it over for Pilcher, and he can't get that shot on goal. 6 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Kiernan over, and the shot clock will run down, and that's a missed opportunity for Brooklyn.
Yeah, and I wonder if they thought they actually got that shot off the crossbar, but nonetheless, the shot clock did not reset. So Brampton will pick it up here, and the shot clock and penalty clock are the exact same.
So Israt content right now just to try and pin that ball to the boards. 2-on-1, the ball is loose. It's a fresh 30 now for Brooklyn. But their 2-man advantage comes to an end, and they have nothing to show for it. Still down 2. In tight shot. It's loose. It's swept off the line, though.
That did go in, but they called a violation, a foot violation there, so wave that one off. If not, that would have been Brady Kiernan's goal. Pace is picking up now.
Ball knocked loose, and an opportunity here. Going the other way. Travazos in alone. Stopped by Nagy. Big stop there from the Brampton keeper. And another penalty coming up here.
I believe so. Brampton is not happy about this call after they weren't about the other two.
So I'm assuming it's going against Brampton. Just judging, I didn't see it, but judging from the reaction from the Brampton bench, and it is the Brampton door open.
I think it was the late shove, possibly on Travazos after the shot went on. And Jack Travazos was pushed into the end board. So Brooklyn getting their opportunities here. The past couple attempts not able to capitalize, but they have all the pressure here.
Let's see what they can do on this one-man advantage after not being able to capitalize on a two-man advantage. That shot turned aside by Nagy. Going back for it is Devin Pfeiffer. Kiernan. That shot courtesy of Connor Kiernan, but it goes wide. Pfeiffer down low, gets a return pass. Pfeiffer, his shot wide. 8 seconds left to go on the shot clock. And it's
going to be over and back.
So things not going well on the power play in this, well, lately in this third period, I should say, for Brooklyn. Their only goal in this third period did come on the power play, but a late or 5-on-3 advantage we just saw from them went for naught, and now they find themselves with 55 seconds left to go on this man advantage.
And just to confirm, the penalty to Brampton was a too many men call.
Well, that'll always get the bench extra angry, those calls. Pilcher, shot turned aside by Nagy.
Now, Brooklyn's got to get Nagy going east-west a bit more. He's able to see those shots and keep in front of the ball. They got to get him a bit scrambled in front.
Cleland. He'll just hold 18 seconds on the shot clock, so they've got some time to play with. 22 seconds left in the power play for Brooklyn. And a stickless Josh Medeiros there.
He bat the ball with his hand.
Final chance here on the power play for Brooklyn. Kiernan, shot there from Brady. Kiernan is turned aside, and the power play is over. Kiernan shot turned aside by Nagy. He's been good in this game for Brampton.
Yeah, and Brooklyn not sure what to do. They're pretty much taking any shot they can and throwing it on net.
And that shot will go wide. And this will just be saved. Good effort there to keep that onside. The intensity picking up here as Brampton will come away with it. And are we going to get more coincidentals? And we might get more now, as it was Pilcher getting into it initially. Was that Gagliardi? It
was. It was.
And then Curtis Goddard came in, and I have to imagine it's going to be another power play coming up here for Brooklyn.
Yeah, it looks as though there's going to be two guys in the box. It's going to be Gagliardi and Goddard. I'm going to anticipate Goddard and Pilcher will be offsetting, and it's going to be the extra given to Jonathan Gagliardi. And I'll confirm that once we're able to.
So again, Brooklyn going to the power play. They do have a power play goal in this period, but they had a two-man advantage that went for naught, and another power play after that went for naught. Can they get something here? 3 minutes left to go. They're down 2. They work the ball around. Kiernan works it down low. Back up for Brady Kiernan. His shot scores! There's one. It's 6-5.
Well, there it is. Brady Kiernan finally gets them on the board. Their first goal in quite some time, and another one on the power play, their third of the game. And I've lost track of how many attempts, but here you go. Brady Kiernan keeps to himself, fakes the pass, and clears up a shooting lane and beats Lucas Nagy. So just like that, the penalty to Gagliardi is done, as he was serving 2 minutes for roughing. The other two penalties to Pilcher and Goddard are offsetting slashing calls. But we are playing 5-a-side here.
Van Scheppen picks it up off the draw.
And now Brampton is the team that has not yet to score in a period so far, with 2.5 left in the third here.
Estrat. Van Scheppen works to the middle, shot stopped by DeMood, and he'll scoop it up, and he'll give it off for Cyril. Cyril bring it over center. He hands off for Connor Kiernan. Kiernan works to the middle, cleans it off for Keeley. Keeley loses it. Battle ensues on the near boards, and Brampton will come away off the ball. And they come up the floor. It's Robert Hudson with it. Hudson plays it in for Medeiros. Back to Hudson. Hudson in for Zavitz. Zavitz spins. He'll come up high. Zavitz still with it. And that pass is intercepted by Travassos. And he'll start play the other way. Travassos will bring it in. He'll stop up. And he'll play it back for Kiernan, and he'll head off. Kiernan plays it back. Empty net. 6 on 5. 1:20 left to go. Brampton leading at 6-5. Brady Kiernan. Shot stopped. Fresh set on the shot clock now.
A clutch possession here, under a minute to go.
Kiernan across the court. Back for Pfeiffer. Shot from the top, scores! It's a tie game as Zach Kerrigan makes it 6-6.
Zach Kerrigan gets his 8th goal of the season here, and what a time to get it. He's been snake bitten all night, but not when it matters most. Down 1, under a minute to go, and he cuts up high here, away from trouble, picks his spot, beats his man over the shoulder, and ties this one up here with 46 seconds to go, as we got a draw at center floor here.
So a pair of power play goals, and then a goal with the extra attacker out for the goalkeeper, has brought this back to 6-6 for Brooklyn. Brampton takes control off the ensuing draw. And that pass does not connect. Battle in front of the Brooklyn bench. And it's going to be Brampton ball. With 28 seconds left to go.
And they, I believe, are calling a timeout to drop their last play here.
So 26 seconds on the shot clock, 28 seconds on the game clock. And Brampton will, as you say, Andrew, drop their play here.
Man, this latter half of the period's been quite something, but we're still at only a 6-6 game. But plenty of chances on both sides. More so for Brooklyn. They get 3 this period. Brampton had 3 last period.
Well, it's been a very even game, I think that's fair to say.
Overall, correct, yeah, but second period, Brampton's way, third period, Brooklyn's way so far. But these 28.8 seconds left are the important seconds that could decide this whole game. And we'll see who's on the floor here with the net empty for Brampton. Looks like Ferreira, he's got 1 today, is on the floor. Versteppen on the floor. Zavitz has got a goal, he's on the floor. Alex Simmons.
Shot clock back up to 30, so 28 seconds on the game clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock. And it will be James Whiteford who will start this off. Whiteford patiently waiting. 15 seconds left to go. Net empty for Brampton. Whiteford over for Istrat. Istrat comes to the middle. Played over in far side chance, and that will be it for regulation time.
And they didn't like that shot after the horn. Did Brooklyn? DeMood was looking for a call right away. But off to overtime here.
Seems fitting for this game, though, Andrew. Was
Yep.
3-3 after 1. Brampton got the only 3 goals of the second period, and then Brooklyn got the only 3 goals of the third period. So we head to overtime here, tied 6-6.
Yeah, it's been quite the game, and if we take a look at the shots in this game, goes the way of Brooklyn in that third period. 15 shots for Brooklyn. Brampton just 5 shots. Overall in this game, 44-40 in favor of Brooklyn. And the only win of the year for Brooklyn so far, be it a young season, came against Six Nations a couple weeks ago. An overtime goal off the stick of Zach Kerrigan. The same Zach Kerrigan that scored to tie it up here late in the third period for Brooklyn to get us to where we are now.
Let's get a look at those third period highlights, and it was all Brooklyn in that third period as they come back to tie this game. And it was the power play that was getting things done for the Brooklin Lacrosse Club.
Yeah, and the first one here is coming from Connor Kiernan for his second goal of the game. You'll see it there, just picking the spot, getting that rebound, batting it off the floor. That one there coming from Brady Kiernan. And the shot there, picking his spot, is now Brady Kiernan there for his first goal of the season. Fakes the shot, or fakes the pass rather, and cuts in, gets that shooting lane. And then here late, we have it from Zach Kerrigan from a similar position as was Brady Kiernan. Picking it, and coming up clutch once again was the youngster Zach Kerrigan. He was quiet today throughout the game. Had a couple chances, couldn't quite get it through, but eventually was able to capitalize when it meant the most. Should mention Parker Pfeiffer, 3 assists in this game. Connor Kiernan, 2 goals, 2 assists. Liam Osborne, 1 goal and 2 assists.
And we are underway in overtime, and Brooklyn will take control off the opening draw. Looking for their second win of the season, as are the Brampton Excelsiors. Liam Osborne to the far side for Kiernan. Kiernan works to the middle, goes to the near side, and is that a crease violation? I believe it is, so it's going to be Brampton taking control, and they get their first possession of this overtime. Ferreira works out from the far board. Shot good. Hand save there by DeMute as he was able to reach down and get his left glove on it.
And those are tough ones too, and the bounce comes way out of the crease. You're not exactly sure how high and how hard that's going to bounce into you. He did a good job there getting in front of it.
Pfeiffer over for Brady Kiernan. Back to the top of the attack, and that shot took a deflection. Pilcher's shot that was. And Brampton attacks in transition. Getting around the check there, Medeiros, but then he loses the ball. And it's collected by Kaguri.
Parker Pfeiffer with that great defensive effort there to knock the ball loose.
Liam Osborne. Osborne working in, plays it back. And that shot turned aside by Nagy. Battle for it on the end boards. Parker Pfeiffer in there. He's bodied, ball is loose, and a hard check there. And it's going to be Brampton ball.
Brooklyn doesn't like that call to force that turnover, and with Brampton coming the other way now.
And that pass intended for Thompson. I don't really think he knew it was coming. And it's a turnover. And a Brooklyn. Devin Pfeiffer. 7:50 to go in overtime. Pfeiffer. He gives it off for Kiernan. Kiernan works it over. That's for Brady Kiernan. That shot doesn't find its way on goal. 5:04 left to go on the shot clock, and it will expire, and it will be Brampton ball.
And we're getting a whistle here, and not sure. Are we getting a penalty against Brooklyn here?
Well, the door is open. I think the Brampton's penalty
It's
box.
going to be offsetting to Brady Kiernan and Jordan Medeiros, which if you're Brampton, you might be happy with that call, getting one of the Kiernan brothers off of the floor.
And Shepin plays it in for Whiteford. Whiteford to the middle. Plays it off for Simons. Van Shepin working his way in. He spins back in the corner, plays it, was looking for Simons. And that doesn't connect, and Brooklyn comes back the other way. Connor Kiernan. Kiernan was looking inside. That ball bounced off the end boards, and it's corralled by Nagy, and he'll play it up ahead. Robert Hudson with it for Brampton. Hudson, little flip pass back for Ferreira. Ferreira gives off to Whiteford. He gives off to Thompson. It's worked down low for Israt. Follows with it. Follows. Looking for a lane shot. Turned aside by Damoud. The rebound. Doesn't get on goal.
Nick Damoud with a great second save there to stay with that and not allow Henry Follows to get his second goal and a game winner.
Looking inside, Kiernan, shot, scores! It's a game-winning goal for Connor Kiernan. And that will complete the hat trick. Not a bad debut for the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club's, well, one of their Kiernans.
That one there from Connor Kiernan. The second win of the year for Brooklyn. Another one in overtime. Gets that pass, beats his man. And you can see the frustration there from the Brampton defender, knowing I lost that battle there to that man, Connor Kiernan, who gets Brooklyn victorious here and gets them their second win of the season.
Well, Brampton had a 6-3 lead coming into that third period, but Brooklyn gets 3 goals in that third to tie the game, and then they get the overtime winner. 7-6, Brooklyn wins in overtime. Next up for the MSL Lacrosse on Rogers TV next Wednesday when the Coburg Kodiaks are in town to take on the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club. For Andrew Osmond and our entire Rogers TV team, I'm Adam Dunphy. Good night from Whitby.